By the time you're seeing this, it's like mid-April, so I have no idea what the quarantine situation is. But I hope everyone is staying safe, and I hope it's not worse. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to talk about White Fang 2, Myth of the White Wolf. White Fang 2, Myth of the White Wolf is a 1994 theatrical release that's directed by Ken Olin, cinematography by Hiro Narita, editing by Elba, Sanchez-Short, music by John Debney, and it's written by David Fallon. Ken Olin is best known for 30-something, This Is Us, Alias, and Brothers and Sisters. Hiro Narita I covered in the video about Never Cry Wolf. The link will be in the description. Elba Sanchez-Short is best known for Shades of Blue, Gang Related, The Twilight Zone, and Hidden Palms. John Debney I covered in the video about Davy Crockett, A Letter to Polly, and David Fallon I covered in the video about White Fang. The links will be in the description. The film stars Scott Bairstow, Charmaine, Craig, Al Harrington, Alfred, Molina, and Jed the Wolfdog. Scott Bairstow plays Henry and is best known for The Postman, Tuck Everlasting, Wild America, and Harsh Realm. Charmaine Craig plays Lily and is best known for Bulletproof, Pocahontas, Northern Exposure, and this. Al Harrington plays Moses and is best known for Forrest Gump, Hawaii Five-0, Jake and the Fat Man, and Magnum P.I. Alfred Molina plays Reverend Leland and is best known for Spider-Man 2, Magnolia, Frida, and Chocolat. It was filmed in Aspen and Vancouver. It's got a 71% Rotten Tomatoes. Roger Ebert said there was an innocence to it, that the villains weren't subhuman, and that there weren't any scenes that were too scary, but it did receive still pretty some mixed reviews, even though it's got a 71% on Rotten Tomatoes, which isn't too shabby, especially for a sequel. Like, that's pretty good, I feel like. It didn't do super well at the box office, but it obviously has enough of a good reputation. Ethan Hawke does cameo at the very beginning of this film as Jack. He's writing a letter to Henry saying, "Thanks for watching my gold mine and White Fang," and I normally would be like, ugh, they're like replacing the main character, blah blah blah. I would be upset about that, but because they got Ethan Hawke to do that cameo and sell it, I was a little bit more accepting. So I think I went into it a little bit more like, oh, okay, they did get Ethan Hawke to come back for a cameo. He must have been busy and not able to do the whole film. But the fact that he came back and did that cameo made me a little bit more like, okay, I'm able to accept Scott Bairstow as Henry in that whole situation. They do the very teeter-totter white savior storyline. I've talked about it in the past. Hollywood has a tendency to do this thing where a white person of Western culture goes to a different culture, typically people of color's culture of some kind, Native American, African, Asian, people of color culture, any kind of people of color culture, and they save them from whatever's going on, and no, they don't need saving just because their culture is different. So I don't approve of that. No. But this one is a little different in the fact that he wants to become part of their culture instead of trying to get them to assimilate to what he's used to. And as much as he is the white wolf that's supposed to save them, the Native American people, the Haida, are very involved, and it wouldn't have happened without them. So they were walking a thin, teeter-tottery line. I felt uncomfortable with it in the fact that I'm not here for the white savior thing, but I feel like they did make an attempt to make it a little bit better than that. It had them very involved in fighting gender stereotypes and fighting, just a lot of stereotypes in general, except there were also a lot of stereotypes that weren't fought, but, little victories. We're gonna take the little victories here. In my opinion, there was an unnecessary romance between Lily and Henry. I felt it completely not necessary to happen. I was very not on board with it until about the very end, and I was like, alright, it's cute, but no. It's not necessary in the slightest. Why couldn't he have just become close to these people and they accept him and whatever, that would have been adorable, but no, it's I did like that, the woman chooses you. I thought that was fun. The man's got no say in it. It's the woman's well, I mean, the man has a say in it, but he can't be you're mine now, you're my wife. She's gotta be no, okay, I choose you. And that's amazing. I love that. Unnecessary romance. I think that's, oh! There are parent deaths. Lily's parents have passed away, so that's 2. And then there's a stampede scene where Reverend Leland dies, spoiler alert, and he dies in the stampede. The movie after this is Lion King, which has a stampede where somebody dies. So I thought that was really interesting that someone dies in a stampede 2 movies in a row. Like, that's really fascinating. That's pretty much everything I have for White Fang 2 Myth of the White Wolf. There were parts of this movie that I really liked, and like the music in this film was, I loved it. And then there were parts of the movie that weren't like extraordinary, but were fine. Like the writing was alright. It wasn't incredible, but it was pretty okay. So that's everything I have. My final rating is 6 wolves out of 10. Our total movie count is. Our parent death toll is. Cry count is the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on Instagram or Twitter. You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. I put up videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Comment, like, subscribe, but I don't know if you are, so you do, and don't be a Reverend Leyland about it. He was terrible. Did I say join my Patreon? If I didn't say join my Patreon, join my Patreon. Also, I hope everyone's okay.